Hey everyone, my name is Abhishek and today we are going to create this motion graphics text reveal animation in After Effects. Using this you can reveal text or logo whatever you want. All this only using After Effects. So let's begin. Alright, so right now I'm in After Effects and we will begin by creating a new composition. So let's call this main. Width and height will be 1920 by 1080. Frame rate you can go with 30 or 60, whatever you want. Duration you can set it to 10 seconds. Just click on OK. After that we are going to create another composition, so let's call this text and all the other things will remain same. Just click on OK. Now let's open up the text composition and I'm going to just quickly select the text tool and we are going to type our text. Now it's completely up to you, you can type whatever you want and also you can use whatever font you want. Let me just quickly change its color, something like this, and now let me change its space between the text and you can play around with this. So I think this is looking fine. Now we can select this and let's press S to scale this up. Now we can place it into the center of this comp using the align panel. If you're not able to see this, then you can go to Windows and from here you can enable it. Now let's make the anchor point in the center. For that, select the layer, hold down the Control key and then just simply double click on this. Now we can also make this little bit smaller, just like that. So once you're happy with your text, you can go back to the main comp and let me just quickly drag our text composition over here. Now let's create a new background. So right click, new, solid, and just click on OK. Let's place it below. On this one we are going to apply gradient ramp and let's drag it over here. Now I'm going to quickly change their color. So I'm going to just make the top color something like this and let's change the bottom color and I'm going to make this little bit darker, just like that. Now we can select the top point and let's move it over here. Let's make the top little bit brighter, just like that. Now we can move the bottom part as well, something like this. So once you're happy with it, we are ready to do the animation. So first I'm going to select the pen tool and let's create a line. So just click anywhere, hold down the shift key and then just click again. Now let's increase the stroke of this. So I'm going to set this to something like 8. Let's move its anchor point in the center. So hold down the Control key and then just simply double click on the pen anchor tool. Now I'm going to select this and let's add trim path to this. So we are going to go to add and let's select the trim path. But first let me just quickly align this over here. So I'm going to first rotate this. So let's rotate it by -75 degree, something like this. Now we can select this and let's move it over here. Now if you think that this is too big from the text, then you can press S and let's uncheck these properties and we can probably make it smaller, just like this. We can also place it closer, somewhere around here. So yeah, this is looking fine. Now we can select this and let's go under the text properties and let's go to the trim path and we are going to quickly animate this. So let's select this and let's add keyframe. Both are at 0. Now let's go to somewhere around 1.5 seconds and let's increase both the values to 100. Now we can select all the keyframes, press F9, then let's go to the graph editor. And if your graph looks different, then make sure you are in the edit speed graph, not the value graph. Let me just select the endpoints and we're going to tweak it something like this. So just play around with the curves and you can have whatever look you want. Right now you can see none of the animation is visible because we have to select the top keyframes and let's offset them to something like this. So there you go. Now you can see we have the line and right now it's coming from the bottom, but we want it from the top. So for that you can go under the shape and from here select the path and you can click on here. Now it will reverse the path direction, something like this. We can also select all the keyframes, then hold down the Alt key to make them come closer so that the animation is little bit faster, something like this. So once we are happy with it, we are ready to move to the next step. So let me just quickly select this and let's call this line. And now I'm going to press Ctrl D to duplicate this and we are going to call this mask and I'm going to change this into a track matte. So for that we can select the layer and let's press U because we don't need any kind of keyframes. So we can just simply set this to something like this. Now select the pen tool and you can click whatever point you want and after that you can continue drawing the shape. And you can see that we are able to draw this shape around it, something like this. Now let's place this mask on our text Now we can select the text and let's change it to track matte to alpha inverted. And if you're not able to see the alpha inverted option, then you can click over here. Now once you are done with that, you can select the text and let's press P for position. And now we can play around with its position. So let's add a keyframe over here and let's move it ahead. Now in the beginning, we want our text to be at this side. So right now you can see that as I move my text, it is not visible because we have already created the alpha matte, something like this. Now if I play back, here you can see our text is coming as the line comes. So we can select this and let's add some easing to this. Again, this is completely up to you. Now let me just quickly add some delay. So this will come only after the line has appeared, just like this. So once we're done with this, we're ready to add some more lines. For that, I'm going to select the line and let's press Ctrl D to duplicate it. Now I'm going to make one horizontal line. For that, we can select this and let's press R and I'm going to change the rotation to 0. And now we can again, let's go inside the shape and I'm going to switch it to the other side. Now we can select this and let's place it below our text. So let's move it somewhere around here. Now we can select the pen tool and we can increase the length of this, something like this. Now we can also make this thinner. So let's change this to 5. So yeah, I think this is looking fine. And now if I play back, here you can see we have this animation. Now let's quickly play around with the curves, something like this, and let's move it ahead. So I think this is looking fine. You can also select this layer, press Ctrl D and let's place one below it and we can make it smaller. So I'm going to just decrease this and let's make this endpoint over here. Again, let's select this, press U and I can move this keyframe closer so that we have a smaller line. Just like that. We can also add a little bit of delay, something like this. Now once you're happy with these two lines, we can select them and let's press Ctrl D to duplicate them and let's move them to the top. So just hold down the shift and let's move it to the top. Now here you can see we have the lines and we can probably move them ahead, just like that. Now let's add our line to the other side as well. So we are going to select this line and press Ctrl D to duplicate it. Now we can press R for rotation and I'm going to just simply subtract 180 from this so that the direction is flipped. Now we can select this and let's move it to the other side and let's place it somewhere around here. So now you can see that this line will come from bottom. Now if you want, you can add little bit of smaller lines with this. So let me just quickly select this, press Ctrl D to duplicate it. Now I'm going to just move it to the other side. Let's press U and let's select the keyframes and I'm going to just move them closer. So there you go. Now we have this smaller line and I'm going to just decrease its stroke and let's move it closer to the text, something like this. And in the same way, you can add these lines over here as well, or if you want, you can also add more lines behind this. So let me just quickly press Ctrl D and let's have some delay and let's make it really small, something like this. And now you can see we have this new line. So just play around with its position and you can make it smaller, just like that. So there you go. Now you can see we have added multiple lines. So in the same way, you can add lines to the other side as well. So there you go. Now you can see we have added the line over here as well. So once we're done with this, we can select all the layers, then press U. And now we can quickly select all the layers except the background and then right click and let's click on pre-compose. We can call this animation and let's click on OK. Now we can select this, press Ctrl D to duplicate it. Now we can select the bottom layer and let's make it 3D. Now press R for rotation and I'm going to rotate it along the x-axis by -90°. Now we can move this below, something like this, and after that you can search for Gaussian blur and let's drag it onto this layer. Now just increase the blur amount quite a bit, something like this. Enable the repeat edge pixel Now we can select this, press T for opacity, and we can lower down its opacity, something like this. And now if I play back, here you can see we have this really amazing motion graphics text animation. Let me just quickly place this little bit more below, just like that. So here you can see we have our animation. Now if you want, you can also add your logo inside this composition and it will act as a row logo reveal. And if you want to change the text, then you can just simply go inside this text comp and you can type whatever text you want. And if I go back, here you can see we have our text, just like this. So this is how you can create these kind of motion graphic text animations. And the project file for this tutorial is available on Patreon. So if you're supporting me over there, then you can download it from there. And if you're not, then you can consider it, because you will get access to the tutorial project files and exclusive templates that are available only on Patreon. So if you have any queries or questions, then you can ask in the comments below. And with that being said, my name is Abhishek and I'll see you in the next one.